What's going on, everybody? It's EricRayweather back here, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you one of the toughest passing plays in Madden 19. Now, I've been getting a lot of requests lately to show something out of a 5 wide formation, because a lot of people do like to run that online. Me personally, I don't use 5 wide too much. This play in particular I do throw in every once in a while, but it's not something I use a whole bunch. It is out of the empty base flex, and the play is called 4 verticals. There's a certain way that I set it up that is actually really good against, you know, the majority of the typical people you run to online that want to just kind of play a lot of more stock coverages, base defense, and just hope for block sheds and just kind of let the defense do the work for them. And they might user somebody, but they kind of just let the basic pass rush work. You can kind of tear them up with a play like this. Now, if you're playing a heavy blitzer, it's a little bit harder. Yes, you do have 5 routes going out, so you have a lot of options, but if you're not good at making really quick reads, and the fact that you don't have anybody extra you can block, it is kind of a little bit harder to use something like this versus a heavy blitzer. So you kind of just have to know who you're playing, basically, you know, feel them out for a few plays, see what they like to do. Now, you have a running back on the left here. Now, typically, you want to put a guy here with decent speed, decent hands, but also somebody that has good spin move, like 80 plus, 88 plus if you have it, but at least someone in the 80s. Now, the Bucks, none of their running backs can spin, but that's just, you know, the routes still will work, but it's just better to have someone here that can spin. I like to put him on an in route. He's really the last check down, but when you catch it with him against a lot of coverages, you're going to have a window where you can kind of spin upfield and get extra yards out of it. So it's just nice to have a spin guy there. At the wide receiver, usually I put my fastest guy there. The RB receiver, running that streak, you definitely want like a good little combination of size, speed, like 90 plus speed, and someone with decent catching traffic there. And then all the way on the outside, the B receiver, I put my best route runner here because I'm going to usually put him on a smart routed out route. So we put him on a regular out route, and then we smart route him by using the RB or R1 button, so he runs to the first down marker. And that's how I set it up like that. So first off, standard cover 3. I think I picked the wrong... Did I pick the wrong play here? Yes, I did. We'll back out real quick because I didn't pick cover 3 by accident. So first, we're going to show it against cover 3, which is most people's favorite coverage. I would say cover 3 and cover 2 for the most part. But a lot of people like cover 3, and this is really a cover 3 destroyer, especially like a base cover 3, which is what a lot of people like to run online. So first and foremost, the RB receiver, if he's not user guarded, he's going to defeat, you know, a decent bit of zone coverage, especially cover 3. He's going to always have like this little window right here where you can just pass him like that. And a lot of times, just like that, you can go in for a touchdown. But worst case scenario is you're going to get, you know, a 15 or so yard gain. We'll show it one more time. Again, regular cover 3 coverage. He's always going to kind of have that little window right there. So something I really like about this. They don't user it. I mean, you can see it just opens wide up for him. I mean, we're scoring touchdowns from about 40 yards out. So that's good. Now, I think most smart players would kind of pick up on that and user that. But that's fine because we have other options. So again, against like standard cover 3s, you're going to have the out route. I mean, the out route gets naked versus like a stock cover 3, because the thing that happens here, I'll go to the replay and show you. So the cornerback is always going to just kind of back up too far. You see like number 24, he kind of starts like he starts keying in on the streak here from number 12. Like you see how he kind of starts to like run with that streak, and then the purple zone safety here never like goes all the way to the outside. Like he sucks inside with the streak too, and it just completely opens up Mike Evans on the outside. So like I said, stock cover 3s, I mean, it's all day long versus that. And then that's not it. You still have your underneath stuff. So the drag, you know, typically if I see the drag, I'll just take it, go upfield, get my, you know, 5 to 7 to 8 yards, because it's just there. Like if they're not gonna even attempt to take it away, you know, we're just gonna hit that every time. Show it one more time. So you see, I mean, it's just right there. It's just easy. Like I said, 5 to 8 yard range. You know, easy way to just continue moving the ball downfield. So you have all that against cover 3, but you also do have a last check down to the running back, but it takes a little bit, you know, to get there. If they're using, you know, everything else, and you got him over the middle again, that's another like really solid, you know, 10-yard gain right there. So regular cover 3, I mean, you pretty much have almost everybody on the play. You could try to, you know, fit the tight end route in. It's that, but usually I never even look to that part of the field because everything else is just so covered or open. And we got picked there. I tried to possession catch it. I was supposed to spectacular catch it, because what you want to do is you want to cut the ball off. But like I said, that's kind of the last dish effort against a cover 3. Like usually I usually don't even really ever look at the tight end route that often on this play, but you usually always have a window. Of course, you know, here comes the block shed because it's practice mode. They ain't gonna let us live, you know that. We'll try it one more time. Like I said, this is kind of a tighter window against cover 3, but if you use the Y button like that to kind of jump at it, I mean, like I said, that's kind of too tight of a window against cover 3, so you stick with the other routes. I mean, there's a window, but it ain't really something I'm going to in a cover 3 because all the other routes are wide open, so there's really no point to look for the tight end. So now, cover 2. Now, cover 2 is going to defend the play a little bit better. So, again, cover 2 is more like check down city. And then the tight end will be better against this as well. So here you see we got about 8-9 yards. The drag route is going to just absolutely toast cover 2 pretty much every single time because everything's dropping back, right? Like they're not coming forward, so you're going to be able to get up the field. And again, I mean, if you make somebody miss, you're turning, you know, that 6-7 yard gain into 10 plus. So easy enough there with the drag. And then, of course, you're gonna you have the check down over the middle to the X guy. Like I said, I try to spin after I catch it just to get extra yards. He doesn't have good spin, so it's not gonna work as well with him. But again, you see, you still have some easy stuff there you can go to. But then the tight end is gonna actually open up a lot better against people that like to play cover 2. You see, the tight end, you're gonna have a nice window here to hit him for, you see, about, we'll say about 15 yards before contact, 15 to 20 before the contact, and then we got a little bit extra. Now, the thing with the RB route here is usually the mid-read on this is going to defend it well. Sometimes you can get behind it. You have to kind of play it by ear. You see, like you can get behind the mid-read if you have a fast enough guy here. Chris Godwin is not super fast. He's like 91 speed. If you have like a 94, 95 speed, you can get behind that mid-read. But typically against cover 2, I'm just looking to check it down or go to the tight end because, again, you want to go to who's the most open. You don't have to, you know, sit here and try to force that in there. But if you do have a faster guy there, like if I would have put Deshaun Jackson there, I'd be able to probably score a touchdown on that. So kind of just keep that in mind. Going back to cover 3 real quick, because I want to show, like, shading the coverage down, because sometimes, you know, people will shade their cover 3 down. And if they do that, what's really good about this is you can still hit the underneath stuff. Like, you still have the underneath stuff. Of course, you know, practice mode, so they wanted to just lay us out there for the ridiculous hit, and we fumble it. But, you know, you're going to get still 5+ yards typically, even with the underneath shaded coverage, because the vertical routes still force the defense deep. So even though, yes, they are going to clamp down a little bit better than they would if it was a regular cover 3, you can still safely dump the ball down against a cover 3, which is something that you can't always do in every play. You can't always, you know, some plays where they shade underneath, they pretty much, it's going to lock up your underneath routes. But because we have so much vertical stuff here on the right, you always have this little hole here to hit the drag. Now, the in route as it comes over, you're not going to have that, because by the time the in route gets here, the defense is already committed deep. But again, if they shade down, tight end wide open, this route is still wide open. The out route, a little bit more dangerous, because even though this is shaded down, the safety is in a decent position where he could make a play on it. But just wanted to show you that even when they shade down, you still have the drag, which is that's really a big plus, because it might not seem like a big thing, but there's a lot of times when you shade down, your drag routes, anything short on the field is pretty much taken away with that, but you still can hit your drag for 5 to 6 yards. But again, if they shade down, they're just essentially leaving the deep stuff even more open than it was before, because they're taking those hook zones out of the way. So whereas with the regular cover 3, the tight end really wasn't much of an option, it was too much of a tight window. Well, if they shade down in a cover 3, now the tight end is an option over the middle. So just got to keep in mind, because certain people will shade their coverages. Now let's look at man defense, and then we're going to look at cover 4. So the thing with man here is the RB route actually does a really good job against man, and of course, just, I mean, you know, it's practice mode block shed. I mean, this is what we've just come to expect now. Practice mode block shed is unforgiving, it is relentless, and it is 10 times better than it is in real game. Again, man defense. This route torches man defense. This is kind of where you want the speed for. You would think that man defense would run with this well, but it just doesn't, because this is what happens with this route. I love this route versus man defense, because, I mean, not even just in this play, just any play that has this type of route. you're going to usually get this animation right here. Like, you see, like, when you get next to the man defender, there's kind of like a little, like, almost like a little bit of a speed burst when he gets next to him. He's like, doo-doo, and he just creates this, like, super separation. Like, he just kind of bursts right past him, and then it's just, even if there's a cornerback here, cornerback's going to get burnt too, the same way a linebacker does, because doesn't matter how fast the defender is, because they're kind of like, they flat foot right here, and they kind of turn late, and you get this boost, and you're going to split the safeties if you pass lead it inside, and it's just money every time. So people that like to go man defense on you, yeah, they got no shot with this play. We'll show it again. It's not like a fluke. It's not something that only happens sometimes. Like, it pretty much happens like that every single time. He's going to boost past him just like that. Again, you're going to always have separation, and they're always going to be just too far behind you to make a play on it. Now, other things obviously against man defense. Now, you would think the drag would be good against man, but a lot of times it gets jammed. Like, the drag and the in route a lot of times will get jammed against man. That's why I like the RB route so much. But you do have the deep out route. This is why I put a good route runner here, because the route runner can create the separation. You throw a bullet, and you catch it on the sideline. Those are pretty much the two things I go to versus a man defense, because if you notice over here on the left, like, okay, Deshaun Jackson was open that time, but sometimes he gets pressed to the point where, like, he can't create that separation. And you can see, like, right here, there's not much separation. Right here, this isn't enough separation. It's basically, you got this guy burning just burning the defender. And then, of course, if you just time the throw on this right, you're going to create separation with a good route runner. The drag, like I said, is hit or miss. Sometimes you'll have it, sometimes you won't. Now let's back out so we can go to a cover 4 really quickly, because I don't have a standard cover 4 in that formation. So here we'll go to the cover 4 in the dollar formation. And just kind of show you just one last little time, because some people still do like to run cover 4. This is a good cover 4 beater as well. So again, on the outside, kind of the same thing as the cover 3. This is just, it's naked, it's wide open. Like, if they don't do any type of shading, like, that's, you have that all day long. Okay. Of course, you got the underneath stuff. Like I said, you'll get, your 5 to 8 yard range. It's not like the greatest deal in the world, right? But every 2 plays, it's a first down, and that's how I look at those type of plays. If I can guarantee a first down every 2 plays, right there, I threw it a little earlier, cut up, got about 8.5, almost 9. If I can get that every play, I'm perfectly fine. I don't need to throw 20 yards down the field every play. That's just me, though. Everybody's different. Some people like to go big every play. Again, here, throw it, hit the spin move, get up the field. The spin move is going to help you get an extra 2 to 5 yards after the catch. That's why I say you want to put a good spin guy there, because sometimes you have just enough of a window to where you hit the spin, you spin upfield. You see, like, I want to go to the replay here. That is, like, a perfect example of what the spin move does for you this year, because the spin move, like, breaks all your momentum, which is, it's a bad thing. I really wish they would fix it, but if it's in the game, you use it to your advantage. Everybody else does. So you see we throw it, and you see how he's, like, kind of stumbling forward almost, like his momentum's going to carry him forward, and number 99 right here, K1 Short, is going to come hit us if we don't spin, and, we're going to get 5 yards, just fine. But because we hit the spin breaks our momentum. It takes us upfield. This is just like a tip within a tip. You can do this anytime you're throwing over the middle and you have this type of a window. You hit the spin. Now, instead of getting that 5 to 6 yard gain, look at this. We get a 10-yard gain before contact. And then we got an extra good animation, so now we got a 17-yard gain. If we didn't hit that spin, we're getting 5 to 6 yards. But because we hit the spin, we guaranteed ourselves 10. But then we also stumbled forward and wound up turning it into 17. So that's something you need to think about. Now, last but not least, I believe the tight end is decent against cover 4 for whatever reason. Let's just kind of double check here. Yeah, like, you're gonna be able to get in front. It's weird. Cover 3, the tight end, it's a much tougher window, but I think that's because the linebacker matches him in a cover 3, so that makes the window tighter. But in a cover 4, it doesn't happen. So you could see, like, this guy right here, Thomas Davis, number 58, in a cover 3, he would kind of match him and trail it and make the throw a little tougher. But in this cover 4, he kind of, like, starts to bite down on the in route. So that leaves us a window here. You just want to make sure to aggressive catch this, because you pass lead it to the left, but if by aggressive catching it, you kind of have this little, like, thing where you jump and cut the ball off in front of the cornerback, who's always going to drop too far back. and you get a really nice gain out of it. You get about, 10 plus yards or so. So that's the 4 verticals out of 5 wide. I've been getting, requests to do it, kind of a long video, but it really is a good play against people that like to just play coverage defense on you. You can shred them all day, like against all these coverages. There's multiple options no matter what. So even if they use or something, you always have something open. So hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you did, as always, just drop a like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.